First of all, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually addicted to a Battle Royale game. Me! Personally, I'm not really into Battle Royale games. I've never found any of them too interesting. I mean, I've played pretty much all of them. I played Fortnite, I played PUBG, I played Warzone, Apex Legends, and the only one that I kind of had some fun in was Warzone, but in the long run, it wasn't really anything for me. But with this game, Naraka Blade Point, it's almost everything I wanted in a Battle Royale game that just wasn't available for me at the time. And I forgot about that idea I had because I remember playing some old Battle Royale games and I was like, this would be really fun if I could just use like melee combat and run around using magic and all these kinds of skills and stuff like that. And they made it. So I played the game just to test it out. It is about $20 or £17.99 if you live in the UK. I don't know how much euros it is, but I tried it out and guys, this game, as you can probably see from the montage I put before me speaking, this game is sick, bro. And now before I go over everything I like about the game, I'll just go over the few things that the game offers for you as a player. So it has a ranked mode, which is, obvious if you played a VR before. It has the casual mode, which is quick play in this game. And it has this game mode called Bloodbath, which is like a free-for-all arena, basically. So either you just join a random one or you and your friends up to 16 players. Anyway, you and your friends up to 16 players can jump in a fight with each other, and it just counts as many kills as you can get. There is bounties on certain people that give you more points, and whoever gets the most points by the end is the winner. And you obviously know how the main modes would go. It's if you've never played a Battle Royale game before, there are games where you just drop in a map and you have to survive and be the last alive. You can either play as a solo, or in this game you can play in trios. It's a shame they don't have doubles or anything like that, but yeah, those are only two types of team modes you can play. You can either play by yourself or play with two other people. So if you've got friends, that's great. If you play randoms, it's not as good as an experience. I generally play solo if I'm not playing with friends, but hey, if you want to do that, go ahead. Now let's just get down to what I really love about this game, because there is a lot to love, and the reason why I've been hooked on this game, and that's just specifically the combat. Now the combat in this game is deeper than I thought it ever would be. It's strictly focused, well, it's not strictly, but mainly focused on melee combat. There are some ranged weapons like bows and crossbows and rocket launchers and flamethrowers and things like that. Listen, there's a lot going on in this game, but the main thing you'll be using to fight people are the melee weapons like a long sword, a spear, a katana, a great sword, a big sword, and a dagger. And with these weapons, you have specific combos that go with each weapon, and you also have charge attacks, which you can either manually input or they will appear at the end of a combo. And the good thing about this is all of the charge attacks can be countered by a parry. And see, in this game, when you parry your opponents, you knock the weapon out of their hand, and it gives you sort of a counter attack that either just stabs them and deals some extra damage that can't be blocked, and then you leave your opponent defenseless basically until they can swap into a new weapon and try to fight you back. But if it's a really clutch moment and you get the parry off, it's honestly so sick. And there's also on the map a bunch of items called soul jades, and if you equip them to your character, if you have the corresponding weapon to them, they can give you even more combos to do with your weapons, or even new attacks that your weapon didn't have before. And trust me, some of these skills that you can get with your weapons, if you find a good drop, they are sick, trust me. And just to go back to what I was saying about the parry mechanics and the charge attacks, it ends up creating its own metagame within the game of like when you jump into a fight. I don't know if any of you guys have played For Honor or something like that, but it's sort of kind of like that, but much more fast paced and free flowing. Like, so you run across the map and then you run into someone and then you're like, oh. And you can grapple over to them. Oh yes, there's also a grappling hook which you can grapple onto different things around the map, and also to other opponents. You can actually grapple directly to them and start slashing away. It's sick. But once you get into that fight, you're sort of in this one-on-one situation, that's if nobody interrupts, where you're kind of trying to outsmart the other person. So you throw some attacks out, you use a charge attack because they go through normal attacks. If your opponent just does something normal, you can charge straight through it. But if they read your charge attack, they can hit you with a parry, knock the weapon out of your hand, and then they get the advantage. So it's like a constant back and forth, and there's a lot to practice, to be honest. There's combos you can learn, and it's not just something simple. It's deep combat. I never thought I would have that, but it makes the game so much more exciting when you run into a fight, which is what I thought was missing from all the other battle royale games I was playing. Maybe, you know, for other people they find some enjoyment in, you know, in the shooting mechanics that the other battle royale games have, but for me personally, there just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't intense. It wasn't exciting being in like a gunfight with somebody rather than being like hand-to-hand combat with somebody. It's just much more fun for me personally. And not only do you have all of that with the weapons, you also do have skills and ultimate skills with your characters, and each different hero has different variations of each skill and each ultimate that you can sort of play around with to create your own personal build. Honestly, it does really make a difference depending on which variation of which skill you choose. It kind of reminds me of Mortal Kombat's like variation mode, Mortal Kombat 11 specifically. It's crazy because it reminds me so much of a fighting game in this game, which might be the reason why I love it so much, to be honest, because I do love fighting games. But yeah, you have so much freedom to create the kind of character that you would like. Maybe you would want to be very destructive with your characters. Of course, there's heroes in the game that like focus on specific things, like there's characters specific for being very evasive and things like that, so they can get away. She's called Matari. She can just disappear, or she can turn invisible, and she can turn the whole party invisible and things like that. There's a healer who's, you know, she's specific to healing, so she's not gonna really be an offensive character at any point, regardless of which variation you choose. But what does change is the way that you approach situations. Like with some characters, they would have moves that you can use whilst you're being attacked to sort of defend yourself and knock people back. Or you can choose a skill that you can't use whilst being attacked, but is much more powerful if you catch someone off guard with it. You know what I mean? So there's just so much you can do depending on your playstyle. And what also adds to that is the talent tree that you can also add to every single character. And you can pick these things called glyphs, and they give you these upgrades like, you know, skill cooldowns or ult recharge rate, and even discounts in the shop. It just really depends. You can build the sort of character that you would like and the one you envision to play in the game, which I just really love, honestly. And not only can you customize your loadout, you can actually just customize the character. Like I'm talking the character, their whole face, the costume they're wearing, obviously the skins, you know, you purchase those ones. That's another thing, I'll get to that in a second. But you can actually just change the entire facial structure of the character. So you have like an in-depth character creation in the game as well. I don't know why they put that in there, because I don't think anyone was asking for a battle royale game where you could customize the characters. But hey, listen, they put it in there too. And it kind of reminds me of Black Desert, if you guys have played that. Maybe not as in-depth, because you can't change the color of your beard for whatever reason, but it does really have like in-depth options to sort of change your eye shape, your nose shape, like move them up and down, that you can really go into detail. I think the Twitter account for the game has posted some of what people have created. I don't know if I can get them on screen. You can see the things that people have created for the game, and it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, you can even have fun just creating a character in the game. You don't even have to play the game. Like, what the that's crazy. Now, in terms of downsides for the game, I can't really think of too many. Maybe it's because I'm biased and I just really love the game and I just don't see the bad things that are happening in front of me. But to be honest, I don't really think there is any issues. But the only kind of, I don't know, semi sort of issue that I can think of is the servers for the game. There isn't many, and the game is sort of region locked to specific regions. So obviously I'm in the UK, so I'm in the European server. If I wanted to play with my friends from America, I have to actually switch over completely to a North American server, which does reset my rank. It doesn't reset it completely, but I have two separate ranks now on European server and on the NA server. So if I wanted to play with them, it does get a bit difficult because the ping also just jumps straight up. So I'm getting around 100 and something ish ping when I'm playing with my friends in North American server, which can create some sort of issues when you're trying to parry opponents, you know, because you have to actually time it at a specific point. That's just one thing that needs to be fixed. But other than that, I can't really think of too many issues. Maybe, you know, some people might not be happy with the way skins are in the game. They are purchasable, obviously. You get different rarities of skins from, I don't know, blue, which is very common, purple, to gold, to red, which is the like extreme or like really high rarity stuff. I have purchased a few skins, I'm not gonna lie, because they're kind of sick, but they don't really change your experience of the game. So I don't really see it as a downside if you have to purchase a skin, because it doesn't affect the game. It just really just affects the visuals of the character. Also, you do get these sort of crates when you complete missions and stuff like that throughout the game that you open, and you have a chance at getting whatever rarity skin, weapon skin, emote, whatever gesture and stuff like that. So you know, if you get something nice, you get something nice. So if you don't really want to pay for anything, you really don't have to. You just buy the game and that's it. Pretty sure when new characters come out, they most likely will be free. I can't guarantee that for sure, but there does look like there's 2 more slots for characters, and I can't wait to see who they bring out. This game has so much variety in the different characters you can choose already, that you know, anybody else that they add to the game can just shift the whole meta of the game completely, or you know, there's just something new to look out for, which I'm always looking for. And they are actively patching the game. Just yesterday they actually patched the game. They gave the game a huge patch. So it does look like they're actively trying to support the game and listen to what the player base has to say about things that are too strong or things that are too weak and things that might need to be balanced and changed around. So things are looking good for this game. I really hope a lot of people look into it. I don't think obviously it's on the radar of a lot of people because it's not like as big as something like Apex Legends, which I'm assuming is probably at this point the biggest battle royale game. I don't know personally, but that's what I see most people playing these days. So if it gets to that kind of height, I would really love that, because then, you know, there's going to be an infinite amount of support for the game, at least for next coming few years. That's not infinite, but you know what I mean, right? So yeah, Naraka Blade Point. It is a game I never really expected I was going to enjoy, but hey, it feels like one of the best games of 2021 so far, and honestly one of the better games I've played over the last few years. It's something that I can really get behind and see myself playing for months or even over a year, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know how long this game's gonna last, but I'll be playing for as long as it lasts for, because it's really fun. And if you haven't tried the game already, yes, it does cost to buy it. It's not free like some other games, but honestly, I'm pretty sure it'll be worth your while. If you're not someone who enjoys battle royale games, let me be a shining example of someone who hates them too and enjoyed this game. So if you've seen the gameplay of this game and you're somewhat interested and it looks exciting to you, I'd say give it a try. You might love it. So hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.